Hi, this is Sharon Massey, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator at Stamp Side by Side. I just wanted to show you these two cards. They're both made with the Winter Woods bundle, and it is wonderful. It's in the 2018 holiday catalog, and it really is just spectacular. It just doesn't show up as well on the camera as you'd like. There's a lot of dimension to this. And what I'd like to do is I'm going to show you how to make the center step card. I will, though, on my blog give you the dimensions for this card, so you'll be able to go there if you want to know what this is. Before I set this one aside, I wanted to point out that this twine is also, it's a cotton twine. It is so soft, but it is also in the holiday catalog. It comes in a bag that has the cherry cobbler twine. It has Mossy Meadow, and it has vanilla, and they are wonderful twines to work with. So that's also in the holiday catalog. So what I want to do right now is I want to pull over the bundle for you to look at, hoping that you can see all of that. Pull it down just a little bit. All of this comes in the bundle. The stamp set has the tree images here with a pine tree, a little pine branch, pine cone, some shadowing, and then thinking of you, and then some trunks over here. This is a really good set because it can be used for Christmas very effectively, but it also can be used for other seasons. So that's one reason I got it, and I love the dies. These are the dies for the pine cone, and these, I'm sorry, for the pine branch, and these are for the pine cone right here. And it also gives you these trees. If you saw my previous video with the Spirited Snowman, you saw me use this particular die on that card. This particular die right here, oops, got to catch it. This particular die is just will cut out the tree once you've stamped it, and this die is what makes everything so phenomenal. It actually has multiple blades along here to cut out the leaves where you can lift them and give some dimension. So I'll be showing that to you in a little bit. So I'm going to push this aside for right now, and I'm going to tell you what you need to make this card right here. So the first thing that you're going to need is you will need a piece of cherry cobbler. This cherry cobbler measures 11 by 5.5. And then you'll also need, for the inside, a piece of Whisper White, 4x4. And then you'll need 2 pieces of white. This measures 3x4. You could go a little smaller, but it's what you're going to use to die cut your trees out of. And then you also will need 2 strips of this paper. This is the Festive Farmhouse DSP. It is a wonderful paper. I've used it on multiple cards. So that you'll need 2 pieces of that. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and we'll work with this piece right here. It's amazing that you use so little paper and you really get some wonderful cuts. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to open up and move your arm over here, and you're just going to slide it to 1. So you're going to line that up. You need to make sure you're right at the line all the way top and bottom. And then also make sure you're at both stops, that you're up against both stops. You're going to get your cutting blade, and you are going to go to 1. So here's 1 right there, and you're just going to score down to 6.5 right there. And then you're just going to flip this over, put it back on 1 again, and you can start at 6.5 and just go up to 1. Now what you want to do is park that cutting blade, because you're not going to use it again. You're going to take this paper and you're going to slide it. Here are your cuts right here. You're going to slide it right here where you are going to make a 1-inch score. Actually, I think I'm going to turn around the other way because we'll be shoving it aside. So I may or may not be able to do this. Okay, so you're just going to score up to the cut line. You're not going to score all the way across. So I've got this, and so you're going to score to 1. So, oops, almost got my cutting blade. That's a no-no. So you just take it and score to 1. 1 and back, 1. I just like to do it a couple times, and then just slide it over to 4.5, and then to your 5.5. So 4.5 to 5.5. Then you are going to scooch that to 2 inches. Again, making sure everything's lined up. And again, you're just going to do these outer edges. So you're going to go to from 1, you can do it either way, but 1, and then you're coming to 4.5, and you're going this way. And now you just slide it to 6.5. The 6.5 mark is actually right here in the middle. It's that line that you can see. It's one thing that's great about Stampin' Up! Is that they did that. Now you're once again going to just score on the edge. So we're going to go from 1, and then come over here to 4.5 and down. And so that's all you've got to do. We'll set that aside right now. And now you're ready to fold your score lines. So these 2 edges, those are going to be mountain folds. So mountain. And then this next one is going to be valley. Oops, I forgot to do one score line. Let me pull mine. You have to go to 5.5. I am so sorry. You have to go to 5.5. Forgot the inside score line. And once you're at 5.5, you're going to score, but you're only going to score from cut line to cut line. So you're going to go from 1. Oops, I'm about to cut it again. Let me get this. So you go from 1, and you're scoring the inside panel now between the cuts. So you're going to score from 1 to 4.5, and then, okay, now I'm really ready. Just teasing you before. So we've got this, and now we want to fold that, and now you get this wonderful, simple card that's really easy. And you just want to make sure you get your bone folder and really get these down. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to line up, and notice where you're this. I'm going to use these lines as my guide. I'm going to bring my silicone mat and my glue runner over here, and I'm going to put some quick glue on here just really quickly, and then I'm going to center it right. I'm not going to worry about this down here because that's not going to be centered down there. I just want to use these 3 sides right here to center it, and then try to keep that straight down like that. And then I'm going to do it again on the other side. So scooch that over, line it up, out like that. And now you can see our card coming together. So what I need to do now is work on the centerpiece. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this stamp set, which is another one of my favorites in the catalog. You've seen me use it before, the Merry Christmas to All. And I'm going to take Christmas Blessings, and I'm going to stamp it in Versamark down here. I'm going to put white embossing powder on it and then heat set it so that it'll melt that embossing. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be right back. So here's what it looks like once it's embossed. It's got Christmas Blessings, and again, that came from the stamp set that I just showed you. It's called, and I've got it buried, Merry Christmas to All. So that's from the Merry Christmas to All. Again, that's a versatile stamp set because you can actually take the words and change the sayings to fit what you want. So now what we've got to do is pull in, let me grab them. Sorry, having trouble catching things. Aha, got it. Okay, so we're now going to use these 2 pieces, and we are going to take that piece of those 2 pieces of paper, and we're going to die cut these out. So as soon as I'm through die cutting that, I'm going to come back, show you how to lift your leaves on here. I now have both of these that I have cut out, and I'm just going to bring a piece of black paper back in here so you can see it a little bit better. So I have both of these done. And what you want to do with these leaves, what I found is, excuse me just a minute. I'm so sorry, I had a coughing fit due to allergies. Okay, so what I was going to show you is that these lift up like this, and you can just take your nail and your finger and just kind of, you want to just kind of bend it up just a little bit, like so. And you do that to all of them, and you want to give it a pretty good twist, because you want them to stick up. They're going to go down a little bit once you start working with them. We're going to do something else with them, so they'll go down a little bit. So you just work your way up, taking each one of these little areas that they've cut to show some branches. I don't know who came up with this idea, but it's wonderful. Okay, so now I don't know if you can see it or not, but this has a whole lot of dimension to it. So that's great like that, but you can make it even better. So I'm going to pull in my silicone mat again, and this is one other thing. I've already shown you all it. It's shown it to you before. This is the Frost White shimmer paint, and I'm going to give it a really good shake to make sure everything in the bottom gets mixed in. And then I'm going to take this brush, and I am just going to put this in here and just dab it. Now, if you watched my last video, you know that you can put color into the shimmer. So if you wanted a green shiny tree, you would just take the green ink and put a drop on your silicone mat, and then just load your brush up really, really well. And put it, you might even, if you're going to have, if you don't think you've got enough, you can, to cover it with one little thing, you might want to use an eyedropper to get some of this. And notice I am just, I'm just loading up. And I'm not worried about this getting on my silicone craft mat because it'll just rub off. So I'm going to kind of brush that, and then I'm going to bring in my solid piece. I don't have to do the whole solid piece, but I do want to do the edges because that's what's going to show. So I'm just going to go and flick this brush across. Just a little bit more. We're almost done here. And so you do have a little dry time here in doing this. So I'm going to turn off the camera, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll be back with you. Okay, so I'm back, and these are pretty dry, so I think we'll be okay to use them. Now to adhere this piece, and you can see the beautiful shine that it has, it's just wonderful. It's very pearly looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just flip it over, and I'm going to actually just get some glue dots off of here and strategically place them, because I do not want them to be on the petals and hold those petals down. And so I'm just, and it doesn't take many to do it. You just have to kind of find a place where you think it won't hold one of those branches down, and you just need to put several on. The glue dots are strong, so they're going to hold it. Put one there, and I think, whoops, and maybe one on the other corner. So maybe one over here. Now we're just going to place that on top. Oops, stuck to my fingernail. Like this. And now you've got this beautiful dimensional tree. And then I'm going to pull in the red rhinestones. They are also, they're both in the annual catalog and also in the holiday. So I'm just going to grab some of these and drop them in. I'm going to put one at the very tip, if I can catch it. So put one there. And then just go along, and this just has to do with your personal taste, whether You want a lot, you don't want a lot. Trying to find out the right place. Sometimes I do better than other times in my placement. And I'll come back and finish placing these because I don't want to take up a lot of your time doing this. You don't need to watch me place all these on here. So, but you get the idea, and I can come back and place it. So now I'm going to bring my base in, and I'm going to just, now I can use my snail to put this on. And I'm just going to kind of center it like this. And the last thing I want to do, just to kind of anchor it, is to take the pearl and center it on here. So about like this. And then add another one to the other side. I'm having a hard day catching jewels, it seems. And now maybe over here, about there. So there you've got the card. And then well, all you need to do is to stamp the sentiment that you want to put in there. And you just put that right there and you've got your card. So this is a beautiful card. I'm going to go on and finish adding some more of the red rhinestones. So just hope you enjoy making it. It really does make a pretty card, especially when you actually see the real thing. The dimension in it with all of this sticking up, it is just wonderful. And you can go back in here and push these up even more. They're going to be stiffer because of the paint being on them, and they hold up a little bit better that way. So hope you enjoyed that card. Now, if you'd like to get the dimensions for this card, basically did the same thing to this one. Again, this is still the Festive Farmhouse DSP. It is still this stamp set, the Thinking of You this season. I did put a little bit of glitter on the tree as well as the red rhinestones. So I will have all of the dimensions for both of these cards at www.stampsidebyside.com. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And remember that by subscribing to my blog, the www.stampbyside.com, you are entered in a monthly drawing for a giveaway. This last month, we just gave away a Spirited Snowman snow set, a stamp set. It won't always be that, but please join in and have some fun. You have a great day. Bye-bye.